whilst we wait, I can just go over some housekeeping rules. So if you do experience any technical difficulties today, then please just use the chat box and we will get back to you and we'll try and resolve those for you. This is being recorded and you are going to receive an email after with the recording. So if one of your colleagues were unable to make it today, then you can just go ahead and forward that to them. And at the end, we will have a live Q&A. So feel free to pop your questions in the question function. And then at the end, our speakers will get to those for you. So we have some amazing speakers today. We have Elisabetta, who is our product technical trainer. We have David, who is our product innovation specialist, Alberto, our senior product manager, and we have Ivan, who is our chief technology officer and co-founder. So what are we going to cover in today's session? So first of all, we're going to be going over our recent releases. Then we'll be going over what's next. Then we'll be going over the product roadmap. And then at the end, it will be your opportunity to ask any questions and have them answered live by our speakers. And here is just a quick overview of what we're going to be covering today in terms of recent releases for Simian Cloud and CoreView. So David, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Emily. And hello, everyone. If we could just hop over to the next slide, that would be great. We have a lot of interesting things to discuss. So one of our major recent releases was the rollout of a redesign of our sync engine. This is also known as vNext, and it is now vCurrent. And this was a major backend update that we successfully released to all Simian Cloud users. And while this doesn't really have a impact on your day-to-day or what you see in Simian Cloud and CoreView, it is a huge change on the back end to make it much easier for us to support new configuration types. As you know, our goal with Simian Cloud is to make it so you can automate everything in Microsoft 365, all configurations and settings, and this makes it much easier for us to do that. So for everyone listening, if you have feature requests for certain configuration types to automate that we don't support today, please send those over. Something else we have here is a friendly name attribute. So we're always looking to make Simian more intelligent and more actionable. And as we know, APIs can return interesting values. And so we have this friendly name attribute to make things a bit easier to understand in Simian. We can go next here. This is what I'm really excited about here. We've listened to all your feedback and released a newly designed reconcile page that prioritizes improved user experience and optimized functionality. So I think this might be a video here actually in this box. If we want to go ahead and play that, we can see that we have a tenant filtering bar in the left side panel. So you can very easily select which tenants you want to compare and what version of those tenants you want to compare. As you can see, we're selecting master, the current version. And then this is where it gets interesting. We can filter which configuration types we want to select at a given time so that you can focus in only on those configurations that you want to work on. Or let's say you have a ton of configurations in your tenant, this is going to optimize your experience. This will offer a much enhanced, smoother, and faster experience, because if you have a ton of data, we all know that more data means more burden on the browser. So very excited about that redesign. Also have a new color scheme that's exciting. Yeah, great stuff here. This is really aimed at making it easier to use and making it faster. That is all for here, and I am going to pass it off to Elisabetta.
Thank you, David. So, over the past quarter, we've imported several new properties into CoreView, expanding our coverage of Microsoft workloads. We've enhanced Intune capabilities by introducing support for Intune policies and device management. The new reports are designed to give you insights on policy application and device health within your Intune environment. And the new policies alert you about device errors and other anomalies. This way, managing your devices becomes faster and safer. We've completed the management administration for SharePoint sites, introducing properties that we didn't manage before, such as member sharing settings and access requests. We've also included a new attribute for dynamic storage monitoring that is the percentage of used storage. This also allows you to enforce policies around the dynamic quota. And we've enabled workflow executions from SharePoint reports. Over to Teams. As Microsoft is now deprecating live events policies, we've included Teams event policies details in the Teams Voice Users report, facilitating management through workflows and management actions. The Manage Users Voice Settings action enables direct adjustments to Teams voice settings within the CoreView app now. And finally, the Teams call queue management actions allow you to assign additional caller IDs when creating or editing call queues. Speaking of workloads, CoreView now offers a level of visibility into Enterprise app that doesn't exist anywhere else. In the last couple of months, we rolled out a set of policies focused on enterprise apps and app registrations to make your Entra ID environment stronger. You can find them in the application management playbook. Next slide, please. We now incorporated the pivot feature into the Service Principal Users report. This gives you unmatched flexibility to group data in ways that best meet your specific needs. Such a degree of customization cannot be achieved through the Admin Center, which restricts data visualization to either individual users or service principals. And once you're done tailoring your report, you have the options to export it or save it as a custom report. If you can please play the video. No, it's inside the previous slide. You have to go back and back again. There, thank you. So here I'm going to my report, the Service Principal Users report, and I'm going to toggle on pivot mode. Now, all I have to do is simply drag and drop these elements down here, and this will create my report the way I want it, basically. So now I can sort it, and I can have my user principal name on top, and then the service principals, and then the permissions beneath. Or I can change that. And for example, I want to have the service principals on top, and it will adjust automatically. So here I have the users and then the permissions. And let's say I want to see it according to permissions, by permissions. You get the drill. You can also do that. And once I'm happy, I simply have to go to Actions in the corner there and either export it or save it as a custom report. Next slide, please. So this is just a reminder that on October 1st, we're launching our new CoreView packages. Entra ID apps will then become available as add-on unless you upgrade to the new solutions. Next, please. One of the most exciting upgrades is for sure the possibility to integrate CoreView with any third-party tool. This really steps up the automation game, increasing productivity. Some examples of what you can do are the automation of ticketing with PSA RMM systems, the simplification of HR processes such as user onboarding and offboarding, and the direct access to graph endpoints for unsupported cases as a better alternative to custom actions. I am now going to leave the floor to Alberto, who is going to show us a few use cases. Thank you.
Thanks, Elisabetta. One of the greatest examples here is the Freshdesk integration. The primary objective of this automation is to handle most common use cases. So when a Freshdesk ticket is logged in, it can be resolved entirely without any human intervention. To begin with, let's explore which are the most common automation use cases, such as onboarding, offboarding, and other tasks like password reset, calendar management, Teams creation. All of those can be automated, making the whole process incredibly efficient. It all begins when a new ticket is created on Freshdesk. This action triggers a workflow on CoreView, and with the triggering, it also passes the set of required execution inputs. The workflow then executes on CoreView, completing all the necessary updates and steps on Microsoft 365. At that point, CoreView calls back Freshdesk via API to update the state of the ticket and making sure that we add notes and anything that is related to wrap up that entire flow. One of the most exciting aspects of this automation is actually the flexibility. We all know how flexible and complex CoreView workflow can be. And for example, we can really fed a lot of information and execution input straight from Freshdesk regarding all the details of a user that we are onboarding, for example. Additionally, this flow can also leverage all the approval steps. So in case you want that workflow to trigger to be approved by the manager of the user you're onboarding, you can have that natively using CoreView workflow. There is actually another integration I would like to speak about if we go to the next slide, which is the integration with CMS. So this integration is particularly interesting for those organizations with audit and compliance obligation like SOC, ISO, Sarbanes-Oxley, and other standards. It allows this organization to centralize all the logs in one place, ensuring when they have to actually audit those, they have all the visibility and control in just one place. Earlier this year, we have implemented the Data Connector add-on, which enables to push CoreView audit logs, essentially all the activities performed on CoreView by CoreView operators to CMS. Initially, this add-on was designed to work with Azure Sentinel, but our technical account manager team recently extended its functionality to include Splunk as well. The way this integration works is in two steps. First of all, the data connector sends all the CoreView audit logs into an Azure Event tab, and from there, we can flash all those logs into different CMS. In case of Splunk, it just requires the installation of the Splunk add-on for Microsoft Cloud Services, which is going to collect all those logs and parse them and make it available in Splunk for analysis and monitoring. This wraps up all the major releases that we have done for the quarter. I'd like to now spend a couple of minutes focusing on the importance of your voice of customer feedback. Listening to customer through Core Voice has always been instrumental and in driving enhancement, and we have done a lot this quarter. There are a couple that I'd like to focus on very quickly. So the first one is the addition of warning messages for bulk action and workflow execution. This features was one of the most voted, and because it ensures that operators are alerted when they are trying to perform action and workflow on a large set of resources. So we are now making sure that no errors happens when these critical operations are performed. Another significant one is the ability to create workflows straight from the custom policy wizard. So now You don't have to jump back and forth between the workflow module and the policy creation. You can just do everything in one pass. We've also included a within X days filter in the date field across all our reports. This was actually started from the feedback submitted on the Entra-ID apps. And this new filter enables the creation of custom reports and custom policy that looks for expiration dates in the near future. The main use case that was requested here was related to being able to report on the app secret that will expire in the next month, which was very hard to handle before. It usually involved like huge spreadsheet that were manually handled. Lastly, we have improved the general user experience by maintaining the column visibility after applying a filter. This seems to be a small change, but is going to provide a substantial quality of life improvement. That's all for Core Voice, at least for this quarter. Now I'll pass it to Ivan for some insight on what we are building next.
Thank you, Alberto. First of all, I want to thank all the customers and the partners in this call, and not only in this call, for the Core Voice, because it's really great. The feedback that you are giving to us to drive the product roadmap based on real feedback from the field, it's just amazing for us. And I hope that you are able to see the speed up of the process of releasing that we are trying to achieve. We are trying to go faster, faster, and faster to be able to not only keep the same pace of Microsoft, but even go faster than them. So this is the usual now, next, later roadmap. So now it's exactly what we are working right now in this moment. Some of these pieces are already will be released very soon. Next and later, we will see them after. That will be the next 6 months and beyond. Very quickly here, we have Entra ID. We have already an admin role reporting, but it's lacking some functionality. So we are adding, first of all, the pin part. So instead of showing you just the permanent role, you will be able to see the eligible roles, the last time they were activated. A lot of features are coming there. The configuration manager, this is Simeon Cloud, that will be renamed in Configuration Manager as a product. And we are adding a CIS and updated benchmark, and also the Essential 8. So you will have some baseline there that you will be able to compare your tenants against these baselines. The new Governance Center, we have a dedicated slide. After this, we will see it. Multi-tenant reporting is coming. That's another highly requested feature for large customer with many tenants, but even for our MSP partner. Reporting site, dedicated slide later. And Simeon Cloud, we are adding the reporting. So we are starting this idea of having a one platform, one product that will combine everything, that gives you the visibility across anything. So you're not just against the 50 different admin center of the Microsoft world, but even within our own product set. And another very cool one is the advanced usage reporting for Copilot Vision Project. This is a hidden secret that Microsoft is really hiding behind the scene. There are no API to get this information. Copilot just started now, but we have been able to find a way to give you detail on Copilot, Vision, and project usage. And this will help you clearly in many things, even in optimizing the licenses for a Vision project. That's really a cool one. I'm ultra happy we discovered this trick. Next slide, please, Emily. Thank you. Okay, so this is the new Governance Center. This is designed to give you really a high-level overview of what's going on in your tenant. Again, the visibility is the pillar for the governance, to be able to see what's going on in your tenant and then take action. Action can be anywhere, in core view, outside core view, anywhere. But the visibility is the pillar. So here we will give you, very important, a grade. This grade is based on the policy that we offer out of the box or your custom policy. There is an explanation on how the grade is achieved. But again, the goal is not to reach the 100%. It's not the goal. It's impossible. It's like the Microsoft Secure Score. If you reach 100% only if you close your tenant to all the admin, all the user. That is the 100% for Microsoft. So the goal is just improving step by step and keeping track of what's going on. The important thing, this is will be the new landing page for all the new customer, but for any of you already customer, already partners, this is not the case. We can go in the next slide. So your current operator, your current admin that have the overview now as a landing page, the overview will be renamed in My Dashboard, and this will remain the default landing page for all your operators. You will be able to access the governance center with a different click, so that this will not be an invasive change requiring training or a lot of ticket opened on your side. Nothing will change. You will be able to explore the governance center on your own. The release will be on 1st of October, and there will be incremental update on this part. Again, use Core Voice, give any feedback, more than welcome. Next slide. Thank you. Reporting side, again, the feedback we received is that there is a video here. I don't remember, Isabella, or no, okay, I don't see the reporting side on top, but that's okay. The reporting side will be something that will be on top of the table, because in the feedback we receive is that the table is great, but you have to dig deeper. You need to know beforehand what's the value that you are trying to figure out from this data. Instead, the reporting side is a set of predefined filter on top with a count that will give you immediately some insight on the data on the table. That's the cool thing. You will see more.
Emily, if you click, report
Yeah.
inside will appear.
Yeah, try to click. That's great. Okay, so that was the previous one, and this will be the new one. So on top of the table, you will be able to see this. Clearly, they will be specific for each table. They will not be in real time. That's an important thing. That they are pre-computed, cached, but at least you have an idea. You click and then you drill down in the data. But this is really aimed to drive you through the visibility journey, okay, to help you in your day-by-day activity. Let me now pass the stage to David for the Simeon Cloud part.
Thank you, Ivan. Exciting stuff. So this is, as I said, very exciting. We are now starting to work on the CoreView 1 vision to unify CoreView and Simeon Cloud in one product. And really, this is the first step, what we're looking at here. If you have Configuration Manager for Simeon Cloud, you will be able to connect your Configuration Manager instance to CoreView so you can see reports on your configuration changes like what we're looking at here. I think we may have one more slide on this, Emily. Yep, as we can see, for example, we can see our configuration changes over time directly in CoreView. Right now, we have this on app.simioncloud.com, but we're putting this all in one place, which is super convenient, really supercharging this single pane of glass. And everything's going to be in the governance center, so you can monitor everything in your tenant all in one place. That's all for me here. Ivan, handing it back off to you.
Thank you, David. Let's go next slide. Okay, yes, clearly on the Simeon Cloud side, we are also improving everything. As David told at the beginning, there is a new engine behind for the synchronization that is much faster compared to the previous one, the current we current. And also on the UX side, we are trying to improve a lot of elements to speed up the usage, the usability of the product. Next slide. Thank you. And now I'm going to show you what will arrive later. And again, keep in mind that this is now next later, everything can change and can change for any reason. For Microsoft applying changes on how you can access the Azure part, adding new capability, having another Midnight Blizzard attack. No one wants it, but that's it. Again, it's not written in the stone. That's the thing. So next, first of all, the Governance Center, you will receive it live beginning of October. The export will arrive slightly later. So there will be a completely revamped export experience to give you more insight, better than the previous one. On the fly, so you will be able to create executive summary to deliver this to your customer if you are a partner. It will be really nice. Multigeo, this is something that was requested multiple times. Finally, we have been able to have the Multigeo license from Microsoft. So now we are developing this part. We will offer the full reporting and the full management capability of the Multigeo part. It's not just creating the user and moving it in the various preferred data location, but it's also showing you the detail on SharePoint and OneDrive element based on the Multigeo. So that would be really cool. I know that some customers are asking for this. It's coming soon. On Entra ID, again, we started with Entra Apps, but we want to dig deeper and deeper and deeper on the security side. Some elements that were missing were the conditional access that we were not importing. So the conditional access story will be bigger in CoreView. We will import everything. And even at the admin unit, because we have a few customers using the admin unit to delegate activity on the portal. So the idea is, again, to show you what are the admin unit applied, what are the filter applied on this admin unit, and enable you to import them. So you will be able to create a virtual tenant based on the admin unit that you are using on the Microsoft side. Not the opposite, because our virtual tenant have a much broader scope of filtering capabilities. So you will not be able to do the redirectional creation, but you will be able to import the admin unit. SharePoint storage optimization. So finally, we are restarting again this part. This is something that we talked with Microsoft. Microsoft told us, oh, this is a big data problem. You will need a lot of data. That's true. It will be big. We did some tests already with some customer to import the storage information. It generated huge amount of space, cost, and so on. But there are some important change coming from Microsoft. The big one is that the OneDrive unused, they will start to bill, to charge us as a customer from January 2025. So all of us will have to pay money for the OneDrive unused. And even on our side, we are small, 30% of our OneDrive are unused. So we will have to pay instead of having them for free. So this is where we will really start to focus first on the SharePoint journey. Tenant vulnerability breach score, fasten your seatbelt. This is big. This will be, again, something that we will offer you is quite unique on the CoreView side, because we have the full visibility on anything happening on the tenant, on the configuration side. And we will give a specific score to each user, department, company, aggregated view, of possibility breach. What does it mean? That we will give a breach vulnerability score that is based on if a user have no MFA, is not configured correctly, is part of various admin role, this kind of stuff, and also compared to the breach impact. Okay, clearly, if I am able to breach to get access to an admin account, the impact will be much bigger than taking a billing administrator, for example. So we'll really give you this additional security view on the most important account and app to be aware of. Okay, again, to give you the visibility so that you know that the top 10 account, the top 10 app that you need to secure will be this one. Okay. Advanced usage report. It was next, but probably it was moved the last minute in the now, but we are working. I remember, because it's next. Yes, it's an interesting story, because as I told you, was not easy to access this information, because Microsoft is hiding really well. So that it was now at the beginning, then it was moved to next, but we found exactly a few days ago the way to import them. So now it's back to now, and we are working on it exactly right now. Later, what's coming later, just to give you a glimpse of this part, distributed governance. This will be the first time that we will open the access to CoreView to non-operator. So this means that, especially for the access review part, that anyone that is following ISO SOC compliant have to do, once a month, even internally, we have to ask, or once a quarter, based on the policy, we have to ask to internal user to review. For example, if they are owner of some groups, owner of teams, owner of SharePoint, they have to review the members. Okay, and give us okay that this success review has been completed. And this is something that we are building inside CoreView. So you will be able to manage all this access review and distributed manual task, adding end user in the loop. So they will be able to log into CoreView portal. They will be able to see only the specific part related to the access review they have to do. They will be able to change members in case, if you allow them to. That's it. This can be a good time saver for you and also clearly helping your compliance. CAIS and essentially benchmark, this will be extended. Currently, we will do it for Cilium Cloud Configuration Manager, but we will extend it within CoreView to cover everything, not only the tenant setting, but also the user details, again, to give you a full experience CIS and Essential 8 compliance. User configuration drift, this is the idea is to help you in closing support ticket faster. Because, for example, it happens even to us last week. If a user loses access to Teams or to a SharePoint site, he will open a ticket and will ask what's going on. And the operator will take some time to figure out what's going on. It has to check the SharePoint configuration, user configuration, group membership configuration. Instead, in the user card, we will automatically give this user configuration history, and they will be immediately able to see that maybe that user was removed from a group or SharePoint access have been revoked, and they will be able to click remediate on the fly. Okay, that's the thing. The goal is really to improve the ROI on your side, to reduce the time to close a ticket on one side, and on the other one will be, again, security related, because you will be able to define a template. Let's suppose that you have 1,000 salespeople. You will be able to define what is the template of the salespeople within your company. You will see all the common property. You will be able to define the template based on them. And from there, you will be able to see anything that any user that is out of that template. And you will be able to approve, manage the exception, exactly like any other playbook policy in the product. That's the idea. Distributed governance, again, is related to the part above. SharePoint permission, that's the second step. But SharePoint storage first, permission later. Why? Because Microsoft has different throttling rules in place here. Storage is 1, permission is 4 times. So this will require more technical challenge to be solved before being able to deliver this. But again, the idea is you will be able to import the data for a specific SharePoint site. The first import will take forever. I have to be honest. Maybe it can take 5 days, 7 days. But after that, we will be able to do this incremental. So you will be able to get this information at least once a day updated. So you will be able to track shared file and this kind of stuff easily. And again, on the SharePoint side, we are also adding some additional feature related to a product that we acquired in the past. That was CoreScan, CoreTag. Maybe some of you already tried it in the past. And that product was able to use AI 2019 to detect if a document was containing PII information, bank account, legal stuff, social security number. And this will be re-enabled. We will relaunch this one as part of the SharePoint initiative. It will run on your side. It will run with local AI model, nothing in the cloud. But the beauty is that you will be able to detect any information. You will be able to apply sensitivity label on Microsoft automatically. And this information will be available in CoreView. Again, for the playbook, for the policy, to track this kind of stuff. Last but not least, Teams AI Assistant. The idea is, again, to extend the distributed concept of CoreView, include the end user. So we have already internally a Teams bot powered by AI. And the idea is really that a user like myself, I can ask, I need to add Alberto in the distribution group of the product team. This will automatically call our API to create a to start the workflow predefined behind the scene. A tenant admin will be able to approve, and the thing will be automatically performed. As any other workflow, you will be able to open a ticket in ServiceNow, manage it in ServiceNow. But the idea is really to give you this Teams bot that you will be able to use in your tenant. Last one, really, this is just the high-level roadmap. Keep in mind that there are a lot of additional cool stuff coming, like, for example, the for each in the workflow. That is something that I really like, because in the workflow now, without the for each, the workflow can be huge. This will help a lot to reduce them. Last one, a free tool on admin role is coming soon in October. You have seen, and now we are, like we did for Entrap, we first start with a free tool. You run the free tool, you help us, other prospect run the free tool. We collect all the feedback, and then we embed all the information in the CoreView app. That's the thing. We will do exactly the same. You will receive this free tool. Probably your CSR will contact you, and you will be able to see the admin role, the team information, the admin units, the conditional access. A lot of stuff will be in there. That's it. Yeah, this is just a preview what's coming, but just a preview. A lot more will be there.
Perfect. Thank you to all of our speakers. That was amazing. I see we have 3 questions submitted so far. So I'll go ahead and read those out. But if you do have any questions and you've not submitted one yet, then feel free to submit that now, and we have some time to go through all of your questions. Kenny has asked, where can I get more information on Configuration Manager and the Essential 8 benchmarks?
Yeah, I think I can answer that, Yvonne. As you can see right here, we have SimianCloud.com, and which is being renamed to Configuration Manager. So at this time, you'll be able to find the most information on SimianCloud.com. I'm going to send a message in the chat right there with the domain. And then in terms of the Essential 8 benchmarks, that on the Configuration Manager side is something that's in progress. Yvonne and Alberto, let me know if you have something to add there. But what we do have right now is the CIS benchmark baseline. So the Center for Internet Security, also obviously very different than Essential 8, but similar in that it's a a very popular compliance standard. That's a baseline we have, and the Essential 8 benchmark baseline is in progress. So if you do want to be added to our release notes, of course, email us or email support@simiancloud.com, and you can be notified of this.
Great. There is another question here that says, is there a functionality matrix available of things that can be done in Microsoft 365 admins and CoreView?
Yes, there is one. Yeah, go, Alberto, go. I see that you are jumping on this.
We have a full list of everything that can be performed on CoreView, like all the reports, all the action, all the workflow action that can be done. I'm not sure whether we have a comparison with the whole thing you can do natively in Microsoft Admin Center, given you can do it in we're using PowerShell or from each of the admin centers. So I'm not sure we have something, but I think it's a good idea if we don't have it to try to put it together.
Yeah, another thing on this one, always keep in mind that you have the custom action available, so you will be able to cover anything that is not out of the box. But the good thing is also that a lot of custom action, the most used, usually are converted to native action. This is happening quite a lot recently. It's really nice.
We've answered all of the questions. Someone asked if they can get the slides after, and the email will be sent after the webinar with the recording. But yeah, does anyone else have any other questions for our speakers? This is the time to ask away.
I do want to emphasize one more time that Simian Cloud is being renamed to Configuration Manager. So that I did write that to Kenny in the chat there. Simian Cloud will be renamed to CoreView Configuration Manager.
I think that's it. We don't have any other questions so far, but if you do have any questions that pop in your brain after this call, then you can go ahead and email us and we will get back to you.
Emily, real quick.
Yeah, there is another question just right now. See if in the future we'll see workflow and policy that leverage config manager to apply chat settings to the tenant. Yes, for sure. That's the plan. The goal is really to, again, the concept of CoreView 1 is that a tenant setting will become a part of the setting of your tenant. The tenant, currently in CoreView, you were able to see the content of the tenant, user group, teams, and so on. Tenant was outside the perimeter. It's in cloud. We are working to bring them all together. Yes. Good.
Well, let me expand on that, Ivan. Also, if we are thinking not only workflow and reporting and all the other things that we have in CoreView, we'll leverage that, but especially playbooks and playbook policies. Importing configuration and tenant setting will be super critical so we can monitor the same policy at the tenant configuration level, manage the exception over there, and at the same time, control also at the resource level. For example, if you think of conditional access policies, we want to always monitor and keep visibility on who are the users of the exception groups. And this is like a perfect example of the value that it will bring CoreView 1 when managing 360 degrees your Microsoft 365 environment.
Amazing. I think those are all of the questions. But yeah, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to all of our speakers for today's session. It was super informative, great to look into the future of CoreView and everything that we are working on. So yeah, thank you very much to everyone who joined. And yeah, you will get information about any other upcoming updates from us, as Yvonne mentioned, the free tool as well, and our newsletter and upcoming webinars, etc. But yeah, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you at the next one. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.